What's going on, Flanksterites? Welcome to another video. Just wanted to give you guys what's on top of mind right now. So I did get shipping notice for this bad boy. Alexa, shut up. Goodness, Jupiter. So yeah, I got shipping notice on this guy. I got the bonus version. There's only 30 of the regular. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't order. It's the same cost and you get a giant tooth, which is always cool. Anyways, I got shipping notice on this guy, the Giganotosaurus from Jurassic World Dominion. It's waitlisted, small edition size of 150. This is part of the giant massive diorama. You get the Therizinosaurus and the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Now, initially, if you guys remember a while back, and these all have low edition sizes, by the way, 100, they're all quite low. You got to have the ultimate version in all three. But they form a giant, cool diorama. Now, to host the entire diorama like that, you need a lot of space. But I do think this looks absolutely incredible. And this guy is like 30 plus inches deep if you were to display it like this. Now, initially, my plan was kind of to, this robot vacuum. Was going to be to display it all right here. I was going to move this and do the T-Rex and then really just the Giga facing the Tyrannosaurus and move those two busts lowered and right above the 115th. And that would just be a Jurassic World poster or more leaves. And it'd all be 115th. And I'd probably just have a bunch of these 110th little raptors all throughout. I thought that'd be really cool, and I still do. I still think that'd be amazing. However, to move, and I even sold this because that was the initial plan. And I also thought of putting just the Giganotosaurus here, but a 115th doesn't look quite as good here. I put that guy there, and it just didn't work. You need to have a bigger piece, especially as a centerpiece to this wall. So I ended up... I did technically sell it, but I actually bought one off eBay and gave that person that one. So, I still have it now. So, I would love to continue and get this line, but it poses a lot of problems for me, space-wise. So, if I had to move them here, I'd have to move all this. And I wouldn't sell this again. I sold it once, and I'm not doing it again. Realistically, the only place it could go would have to be replacing Game of Thrones and Alita. Now, I think the overall collection, if I can move those, not sell them, but move them, I think this TV wall would look better. You do Raptor bust again next to him with a, just leaves and the Raptor sign. Right there, you would do the Raptor 1/6 and Dilophosaurus 1/6. Switch these two shelves and do the T-Rex 1/10 right there. Because then this right half of the TV would be, Jurassic. And this specifically is Jurassic Park. You go around, you got the 115th World, and technically Jurassic Park 3. This thing is driving me crazy. I swear, like I said, this thing follows me. Why can't it be over in the freaking Transformer room? So, yeah, you switch this, and that gives this more space here to fit 3 1/3 and do the clean Arnold with Sarah and Endo. To kind of give that Terminator 1 vibe. I'm man, that'd be so cool. But to move Game of Thrones and Alita is extremely difficult. Even just to move, Goodness, Jupiter. Yeah, it's a real difficult one. There's only a few things I could do. Let's say hypothetically, I sold those two and sold Alita and just kept Khaleesi bust and statue. And I did Khaleesi 1/4 where you got G.I. Joe, sell those and put Khaleesi bust above. Yeah, technically that would work. You have the Khaleesi bust, you put the eggs behind her with the plaque. That'd work. Granted, it means... getting rid of these two and Alita, because I don't know how I'd fit Alita in there. The only other way is to sell Transformers, but I'm I don't think I could do that. That's where you see I'm in a pickle. It's a real hard one. I feel like Alita and Game of Thrones could go in this room, but we're also short on space. And I also think as well, man, when they make more Lord of the Ring busts, that's also on my mind, Saruman. Because I was thinking, what if we put Balrog where Prime 1 Predator is, and these two where G.I. Joe is? In reality, this can be a 48-inch shelf. I just shortened it. But, you know, if it's 48, it just goes directly to the shelf. You know, of course, Sauron's hand is going to be like right here. I mean, it's really going to be like right here. But, you know, what if we put Saruman right there? You know, I'm only doing villains for Lord of the Rings. I'm not doing good guys. That is a 100% Flankster rule. Villains only. Now imagine Saruman, and I bought back the Lurtz bust, but I got the newer, better one with the good base. And then you did Gollum bust, because Gollum is a villain and a creature, and he's definitely one I would love to have. I mean, frankly, I'd love a life size because he's a small character, but a bust would also be sufficient, probably wouldn't be too big. You know, like imagine you had Saruman and Lurtz with Gollum. You know, like, man, that'd be sick. Jupiter, I would love that. I don't know if Saruman would fit. I mean, I need to know how deep he is and how wide, because Lurtz bust was also like is basically as big as that. Not as tall, but basically as big. Needs to be top shelf. You know, like, could you fit Saruman here with, you know, I don't know. I feel like you could only maybe fit Saruman. But it'd be cool to have Saruman next to Lurtz. And then Gollum. Like, that would be like the ultimate. I also even thought, what if you just removed this shelf, just moved Balrog and that, and just made this room, you know, more open and cleaner? Because I can definitely say when I was changing the rooms out and I didn't have a shelf here, the room feels much bigger. You know, you can see stuff better. It's more spacious. Like, I can stand right here when I want to view this. And right now I can technically stand right here if I want to, like, stand a little back. But ultimately, I prefer not to have a shelf right here. You know, I think each of my statue rooms, there are shelves I would like to remove to make the, you know, room more spacious. Like, I'd remove that glass shelf. I'd remove this shelf. Frankly, I mean, I don't like how that blocks the door. You know, so it's like, I'd almost want to just make that a 48-inch shelf. And, you know, so I like to have the doors back on. And I can open them and close them. And, you know, but, of course, space is everyone's, you know, enemy. So you got to do what you got to do. But, you know, like I said, I've always thought when I was originally doing this room of doing, like, you know, Game of Thrones and Alita all under here. You know, but when I think about it, I'm like, okay, well, Jon Snow and Night King don't top any of these. Khaleesi bust does. Khaleesi 1/4 is as good as probably any of them. But an Alita bust is as good as them. Not Alita 1/4. Ultimately, I think these are just better statues. Transformers are the most detailed statues out there. So I'm just a huge, huge fan. You know? But it's definitely, like, you know, a big space issue. I still wonder about Prime 1 Predator. Do we keep it or do we eventually sell it and throw something else here? I'm even wondering regarding G.I. Joe if I want to keep them or eventually sell them. I do really like them. But I have been thinking lately, should I sell them? And Prime 1 Predator. I love this statue to death, but it's also completely out of scale. I already have like an ultimate jungle hunter setup. I really do. You know, Cinema Cat with my bust is just freaking perfect. You know, it's freaking perfect. So it's like, do I really need anything else? I got closed mouth, open mouth, and if I want masked look, I throw his mask on. I always prefer the Predators, you know, like this. I even thought, you know, like if we didn't have XM Predator, I'd probably get the Infinity Studios City Hunter because then it's movie accurate. And then I have all the main 4, you know, Predators. I don't know. It's a tough one for sure. Ultimately, though, I think I will be, you know, canceling the Giganotosaurus. I'm actually potentially going to be selling it to someone, like my pre-order, like have it shipped to their address. You know, that's what I'm looking at. Because there's just, I mean, as much as I'd love the idea of this all Jurassic, I don't think it's worth it to get basically a Giga 115th and a Tyrannosaurus have to sacrifice stuff. You know what I mean? I do love the idea, though, of just having the TV 2 themes, where right now it's kind of 4 themes. You got a little bit of Jurassic, you got Game of Thrones, Alita, and then Terminator. So just Terminator and Jurassic, it would work good. I will say, though, of all my rooms, I think this one is the most complete room out there. There's not really any spots in this room where I'm just like, I want a Hawkeye to go right there. I wish it wasn't Rock and Gray. I wish it was a Hawkeye. Heck, I take the TV costume, Avengers 1, Avengers 2, Endgame. I want to get the Mark 43. I'm waiting on Resin GK supposed to ship it. And then, it's pretty much all I want in this room. We're good. If I didn't have Hulkbuster there, what I think I'd put there? Green Lantern. The comic one. I know it's comic, but I do love that statue. I think it's sick. It is super tall, though. I think that thing's like 39 inches tall. I think I could fit it here if we lowered the wood to the ground and do the Green Lantern next to Black Adam. Then it'd all be DC right here. Initially, back when Blue Beetle was still active, I thought about getting it. When I was considering selling Hulkbuster, I was like, man, I should do Blue Beetle down there. Got canceled, though. Anyways, folks, the Giganotosaurus was definitely on my mind just because I did get shipping notice. But like I said, I think we'll be just, selling it, or if the person doesn't buy it, I'll just cancel it, lose my deposit. Because it's too difficult to sell statues right now. I still haven't, had many inquiries on Krillin, 0 on Trunks. And they're both great statues, and I feel like my prices are good. Now, I am in no hurry to sell these. I only need them gone once Z Warriors arrives. But I've sold everything but these 2. Of all the statues I've wanted to sell, those are the only 2 that I haven't sold yet. Kind of mind-boggling considering how good that Krillin is. Like, that's a perfect Krillin. But yeah, it's just, some people are like, hey, why don't you get it in for review, then sell it? I'm like, I'd probably lose like $300 to $400 trying to sell it. It's just too difficult to sell stuff that I'd rather just take a loss on like $110 deposit versus $400 after I get it in hands, worry about damage to me, damage to the new buyer. I think it's better just to, unless your deposit is a ridiculous amount, like let's say 1/3 of the statue, if it's only like 3% or 10%, I think it's probably better just to lose the deposit and not get the statue than worrying about trying to sell it. It's not worth the risk, and YouTube revenue is definitely not going to cover much. That video might get 2,000 views. It's not going to generate a lot of revenue for me. This video alone will probably get more views. Anyways, folks, it's bedtime. Just doing my video nightly for you guys. Still waiting on Resin GK to ship my Optimus Prime bust. And waiting on updates for Kratos. But hopefully we can get Optimus bust in next week. Fingers crossed Resin GK pulls through and ships it this week like he promised. We will see. I will see you guys in the next video. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a great day.